Hamburger FC are a one-time Champions League winner, beating Juventus in the 1983 final. They're also a 6-time Bundesliga champion and a 3-time DFB-Pokal champion. However, in the 2017-2018 season, they were relegated to the second tier of German football for the first time in the Bundesliga's 55-year history, causing riots by Hamburg supporters. Since then, they've had a series of disappointing finishes in the Zwei Bundesliga and have been unable to return to Germany's top flight. This ends today, as we will be taking charge of Hamburg and taking them back to the top of German football. In this rebuild, we will be rocking GYR's Dynamite version 2, which is this gorgeous 4-3-3 tactic, which I'm hoping will be able to dominate Germany. This is going to be the best 11 going into Season 1, with a key player in every part of the pitch. In net, we have Portuguese youth international Dario Fernandes, who looks a great shot stopper for the level. At the heart of defence, we have Sebastian Schwanelu, who looks solid, but a touch on the slow side. In midfield, we have 22-year-old Dutchman Ludovic Reis, who looks supremely well-rounded and can play in 2 key positions for us. Then up top, we have the big man, Robert Glatzel. He's not exactly what I look for in this tactic, but he's a big lad at 6'4", and he has 17s for jumping reach and heading, so I'm sure he can cause some damage. In Season 1, we have 2 competitions to deal with in the Pokal and the League, with the board saying our main objective is to get automatic promotion back to the Bundesliga. Looking at the media prediction, we are odds-on favourites to win the league, with 2 players in the Media Dream 11 in Sonny Kittel and Robert Glatzel. No excuses, promotion is a must. Promotion was required and promotion was achieved, but it was a lot closer than I would have liked. We topped the league with 79 points, but Hanover pushed us all the way, finishing second on 74 points. This was the decisive result in my mind in game week 28 as we faced Hanover at home and gained the mental edge with a 4-1 win thanks to goals from Lazio Benez, Jonas David, Robert Glatzel and Antti Sonnen. In the Pokal, we advanced through the first round thanks to a comfortable 3-0 victory against lower league opposition, before a very impressive result in the second round, eliminating Bundesliga side Stuttgart away from home, with big man Robert Glatzel scoring an impressive hat-trick. Sadly, our Pokal journey came to an end in the third round at the hands of FC Cologne. Despite Glatzel adding another 2 goals in the competition, the quality of the Bundesliga side showed as they took control of the game, winning it 3-2. The finances look solid as we return to the German top flight, as we have just over £7 million in transfer budget, and our wage budget has basically doubled to just shy of £500,000 per week. Player-wise, the big man was our top goal scorer as Glatzel netted 36 times in all competition and even chalked up 8 assists. He's unhappy because he wants a new contract, but let's see what Season 2 brings. Moving into Season 2, we got active in the transfer market, bringing in 4 new players. First up, we added Martin Neto on a free transfer from Benfica's B team. He's supremely well-rounded and young, so it was a no-brainer for no money whatsoever. Elia Caprelli joined the club for £5.5 million to be our new number 1. If you've not picked up Caprelli from Serie B in this year's game, what have you been doing? We then raided Dinamo Zagreb for 2 of their most talented players. First up is creative midfielder Martin Butrena, who can unlock defences with ease, and he's only 20 years old, hoping he can develop into a world-class talent with us in Germany. And finally, we added the set-piece threat that is Bosco Satalo to bolster our back line. 23 years old, 6'2", consistent and loves big matches. Yes, please. Those 4 players come straight into our starting 11 for the season and give us some much needed quality that we will need to step up to the Bundesliga level. We just have 2 competitions this season in the league and the cup. It's Hamburger SV away in the first round of the Pokal, and in the league we're predicted to finish in 14th and survive. I do have to say this is a strong Bundesliga as Musiala, Bellingham and Nkunku are all still in the league. In our first season back in the Bundesliga, we definitely punched above our weight and finished in 6th with 59 points and qualified for next season's Europa League. We were pretty consistent throughout the season, either winning or losing our games, with not really anything else in between. Our home form was strong and we picked up good results like this 3-0 demolition of Bayer Leverkusen. However, on the other side of the coin, we suffered heavy defeats against the big boys, like this 5-0 loss on the road to Bayern, showing the level of work that we still have to do with this team. Standout performers for this team included Robert Glatzel, who scored 24 goals and got 7 assists in all competitions this season. Summer signing Martin Butrainer also took the lead by storm with 13 goals and 15 assists in his debut season. However, things took an unexpected turn in the DFB-Pokal. In the first round, we were pushed to extra time by non-league Haida. The home side took the lead in the 13th minute, and we left it all the way till the 85th minute to equalise. Laszlo Benez and Rashford Yeboah Königsdorfer then scored in extra time to save embarrassment and see us move through into the next round. We were on the road again in the second round as we travelled to Cologne, and Martin Butrainer opened the scoring after just 3 minutes. His goal was cancelled out by the host before Robert Glatzel scored either side of half-time to put us in a 3-1 lead. David Selke pulled a goal back for Cologne, but we were able to hold on for the win. Fortuna Dusseldorf were our third round opponents, and we were at home for this tie. We started like a house on fire with Martin Neto scoring inside the first minute. Robert Glatzel then doubled our advantage in the 17th minute before Martin Butrainer saw his penalty saved by Mortis Niklas. However, the penalty miss did not matter, and we won the game 2-0. The next round in Germany is the quarter-finals, where we were at home to Freiburg. Missed penalties must be going around as Maximilian Eckstein saw his penalty saved by Elia Caprelli before Martin Neto finished off a lovely team move which proved to be the deciding goal. This meant we actually got into the semi-finals of the Pokal, where I started to get a nosebleed because I really wasn't expecting to be at this point here in the rebuild. We entertained Union Berlin at Volksparkstadion and really showed why we are a team to be reckoned with moving forward. Robert Glatzel scored again in the middle of a Bakary Jatta brace to give us 1 foot in the final. Marquinhos poured a goal back for Union, but we were able to run out deserved 3-1 winners. No surprises for who we came up against in the final. It had to be Bayern Munich, didn't it? Our record against Bayern is poor to say the least, and it continued here as well. Gabriel Vidovic opened the scoring early, and Bayern were just relentless and added goals through Joshua Kimmich and Jamal Musiala to run out deserved winners. But this was a good experience for the boys. Ahead of Season 3, the Bundesliga money is kicking in, and we now have £36.5 million in our transfer budget, an additional wage budget for around 120k a week. Off the field, we're working on improving the club, as we've already seen an increase to our junior coaching budget. Work is also underway to improve our training facilities and our youth facilities, which are already good, but upgrades are always welcomed. The money hit for this season, and oh boy did we get to spending, bringing 8 new signings and spending £32.5 million. First up, let's talk about the freebies in Ian Matson, Kasper Dolberg and Christian Belek, who joined from Chelsea, Nice and Derby County respectively. We picked up German youngster Nelson Viper from Mainz for £3.9 million, and this guy develops into a monster in-game and will be the man to lead our line moving forward. I tried to improve us at the back, and I did so by adding Ruben Polido from Huesca for £4.7 million, Joachim Konoploya from Shakhtar for £8.25 million, and Brazilian international Alex Telles from Nottingham Forest for £10.75 million. And finally, we secure Mohamed Diamande from Nordsjælland for £5 million, and he can play in several positions for the team and adds great depth whilst being a fantastic player. This season, we've added the Europa League to our competitions tab, and the board are expecting us to be competitive, and because we're in Season 3, we will enter straight into the league phase. Bundesliga-wise, we are going to try and improve on last season's 6th place finish, but we're not one of the favoured sides in the league and are predicted to finish in 13th. We were able to improve on last season's performance as we managed to clinch top 4 and qualify for next season's Champions League. The defensive improvements really did help as we conceded 8 less goals than last season, but the real story was this man, Nelson Viper. The young German had a breakout season and managed to score 32 goals and register 10 assists and was our star player this season. His goals fired us to 3rd place in the league scoring charts, and we will be looking for him to improve on that next season. In the German Cup, we managed to reach the quarter-final stage for a second season in a row, with victories against Hansa Rostock, Gladbach and Hoffenheim to set up a home tie against Stuttgart. Wahid Fagir managed to bag a brace in the game for Stuttgart before Alex Telles made it interesting, scoring a tame penalty, but even though we were the better side in this game, we could not pull level and crashed out at the quarter-final stage. This season saw Hamburg return to continental competition, albeit the Europa League. Within the league phase, we faced Fenerbahce, HJK, Molde, Villarreal, Udinese, Utrecht, Midtjylland, and Lazio. We performed above our station as we finished in second place in the league phase behind an impressive Udinese who won all of their games. The top 8 finish meant that we advanced to the round of 16 where we take on Red Star Belgrade. We were in Serbia for the first leg, which was very uneventful, with the game finishing 0-0. The second leg, however, was a much different story. Back in Germany, we saw 8 goals fly in, but we were on the winning side of this one, securing a 6-2 victory, which was fair considering how dominant we were in the game with 29 shots, with 13 of them being on target. Into the quarterfinals we went, where we faced Lazio. Defensively, we left a lot to be desired in the first leg, giving away simple goals to Ciro Immobile and Marcus Antonio to put us 3-0 down at half-time. However, the boys showed great character to battle back. Bakary Jatta scored just after half-time before Nelson Viper added a brace to make the game 3-3 at full-time. It still gave us a lot to do in Rome, but I believe. Jatta continued his great form in this game and gave us the advantage with his goal in the 19th minute. Luca Romero pulled the tie level with 15 minutes to go, but we were not done yet. Big Robert Glatzel popped up deep into injury time to score a scrappy goal, but we didn't care as we advanced into the semi-finals. It was Tottenham standing in our way of a European final and we entertained them at home in the first leg. Nelson Viper stripped the ball from Christian Romero to give us the advantage in the first half, but Spurs battled back into the game and were able to pull level from the spot as Harry Kane set Elia Caprelli the wrong way. Back at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, things weren't good for us as we put the ball in the back of our own net early doors through Mario Viskovic. Spurs really showed the gap in quality as they added goals from Rodrigo Bentancur and another Harry Kane penalty. Although we exit the competition at the semi-final stage, I'm very proud with how the team got on in the Europa League this season. Ahead of Season 4, we have an absolute war chest to spend with just over £54 million to improve this squad and try to challenge at the very top of the Bundesliga. To kick off Season 4, we say goodbye to a solid servant at the club, Ludovic Rice, who was just a squad player for us last season. He joins Lyon for £5 million. On the incoming side of things, we spent another £44 million to bring in 6 new faces. First up was Serginho Dest, who joined from Barcelona on a free transfer at the end of his contract. However, he wasn't the only player we secured from Barcelona, but this one cost us £17.75 million as we welcome Nico to be the anchor of our midfield. We also secured Norwegian international Sivert Mannsverk, who joined from Udinese for £17.5 million. On the lower end of things, we also secured FK Partizan striker Milan Alisic for £5.25 million, and he will be an understudy to Viper. Youngster Anders Borset joined us from Molde for £3.3 million, and he can either play at centre-back or at left-back. And finally, we picked up a reserve keeper in Jakob Windel Zetterstrom, who joins us from Brentford for £450k. This is the best 11 going into the season, and the team is looking stacked, and we are ready to dominate with standout players being in our midfield, and of course, Viper up top. Competition-wise, we return for the Champions League for the first time in a long time, and in the Bundesliga, we've been given title odds of 50-1 and are predicted to finish in 7th. In the Bundesliga, we matched our 4th place finish from last season, however our points tally was 6 points less. We managed to win 20 games, get 4 draws, and had 10 defeats in the season, which was really disappointing as I thought our team was much better than last year. Sadly, things didn't improve in the Champions League as we were knocked out in the league phase. We came up against Nice, Red Bull Salzburg, Barcelona, Benfica, FC23, Club Brugge, PSG, and Arsenal. We lost every single game in the competition except for a draw against Salzburg and a 7-1 hammering of FC23, meaning we finished 31st in the league phase and crashed out of the Champions League. That was not the return we were looking for. In the DFB Pokal, we advanced through the first rounds with ease, taking out Wilbert 0-2, Hertha Berlin, and then Ingolstadt before coming up against Bayern. This was our best performance in the save against Bayern so far, but we still couldn't get the job done, going down 1-0 at home thanks to a goal from Thomas Müller. If there is one thing I know about FM, it is that everything can be fixed with money. And we have around £50 million to take this team to the next level. Let's get to it. To allow us to attack this season, we went out and spent big, parting with £59 million, which we spent on 4 new signings. Nicolo Zaniolo joined the team from Turkey for just £17 million. Azelmo Garcia McNulty comes in as a star player, and he looks fantastic defensively and can play at either centre-back or in defensive midfield. He comes from league rivals Bayern Leverkusen with the price tag of £21 million. It wouldn't be a Hood Gaming rebuild without me cracking out the Wonder Kid Finder to locate some outstanding new gens, and first up is Jesus Jara. Jara joins from Deportivo Guadalajara for $9.25 million, and he looks like he will become a fantastic technical midfielder with high first touch, passing and technique attributes. And finally, we spent £12 million on Ivan from Valencia, who can either play as a striker or on the wing, and he also looks great technically, but it's his mental attributes I like the most, with his high flair, determination and composure. This is our best 11 going into the season, with Zaniolo and Ivan coming straight in to take their places on the wings, and we have 6 3.5-star plus or above players in our starting 11. We will be wanting to put last season's Champions League behind us as we return to the competition for Season 5. Expectation-wise, the board wants a quarter-final performance in the Pokal and to qualify for the Europa League in the Bundesliga. In the league, our odds are the lowest they've been since we returned to the division, with title odds of 33-1, and we are predicted to finish in 5th. So our media prediction was for us to finish in 5th, but sadly, we couldn't do that. We finished Season 5 in 6th with 61 points, but our problem was shipping too many goals. We were the 3rd best team in the Bundesliga for goals scored, but sadly 8th place in terms of goals conceded, so a clear issue we needed to work on. Nelson Viper had another good season, finishing 3rd in the Golden Boot race with 18 goals in the Bundesliga. His goal scoring continued throughout the season as he netted 27 times in all competitions. We were also disappointing in the DFB Pokal. We advanced through the first round against lower league opposition, largely thanks to a hat-trick from that man Nelson Viper. However, our cut run came to an abrupt end in the second round as we were taught a bit of a lesson by Bayern Leverkusen. Alex Benea slotted a quick brace before Jardel Kanga added a third to put the game to bed before half-time. However, it wasn't all doom and gloom in Season 5, as our Champions League campaign was much better than last season. In the league phase, we had fixtures against Dinamo Zagreb, Fenerbahce, Ludogorets, Barcelona, Roma, Red Bull Salzburg, Inter Milan and Ajax. We picked up wins against Fenerbahce and Ajax, along with 4 1-1 draws in the league phase, which saw us finish in 23rd and qualify for the knockout stages by the skin of our teeth. In the knockout playoff round, we were drawn against Ajax, a team that we actually beat 3-2 in the league phase, so confidence was high. The first leg was in Germany and we took the lead, capitalising on a defensive mix-up from the Dutch side to see Butraina score. Mohamed Drame pulled Ajax level with his nice volley, leaving Caprelli no chance. In the second leg, the home side took the lead through Steven Bergwijn before Viper was able to cancel it out just before half-time. Defensive midfielder Anselmo Garcia McNulty leapt highest to nod us into the lead again just after half-time, but Ghanaian superstar Mohamed Kudus drew the game and the tie level again. This sent the game into extra time when Nugent and summer signing Ivan was able to get on the end of a Sartolo cross to head home and send us into the round of 16. It was Italian champions Napoli up next, and we all know that this is going to be a tough tie. The visitors struck first as a quick give and go between Armin Guri and Kingsley Coman allowed the former Rennes man to tuck home past Caprelli. Guri then doubled Napoli's advantage just before half-time, again getting on the end of a pass from Kingsley Coman. We were able to pull a goal back from a nice Nicolo Zaniolo header, but that gave us only a lifeline going into the second leg in Naples. However, in the second leg, the hosts raced to a 3-0 lead in the first half as we conceded 3 goals from 3 different goal scorers. Kvaratskhelia opened the scoring before Osimhen and Borrigono added their second and third goals. The boys showed great character and didn't let their heads drop in this game as Mohamed Diomande scored just before half time. In the second half, New-Gen Ivan put the ball on the plate for Martin Neto, who made it 3-2 on the night, but sadly this is where the goals ended and Napoli progressed with a 5-3 aggregate win. So we were able to return Hamburg to the Champions League, however sadly we were unable to get their name on the trophy for a second time. However, this save is prime for you to take things over and you'd have £76 million to spend to achieve what I couldn't with this team. This save will be posted in my Discord, links to that will be down in the description, and if you do like the FM23 rebuilds, check out this playlist, it's all of the rebuilds we've done on this year's game.